It's the thing I listen to most. It's easy. It's the easiest thing to listen to. It's soothing. It's calming. I got a greater appreciation for the talent. You know, I don't think it's as subjective as rap. Like somebody could like Nas and somebody could like Hove or whatever. You know what I mean? In singing, especially in R&B, like singing, it's not that subjective. Like you don't have to be a fan to be like, nah, that's a good
record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they can sing. And similarly, you can't be like, no, that motherfucker can sing, and it's like, no, they can't sing. And that's talking about hearing them actually sing live or something like that, not like Musiq Soulchild who fooled me for.
It's funny, it's the same thought I had in my mind. Like, no, the records is dope.
Fooled me for the better part of the decade.
Nigga, what did you do it?
He can't sing at all.
He's horrible.
He's very bad at singing.
Yeah.
Great songs.
Great music.
Songs. Yeah.
Great music. Anything that comes across the airwaves is fully mixed and mastered.
Fire.
But in real life, that man sound like me in the shower.
It's tough. It's tough.
It is her replay.
I'm having this little cough, man. I gotta do something about it. I don't know what it is.
Condoms.
Wow. Wow, said the red-faced reindeer. Anyway, look at him, red. Put it back on him, Pete.
It's hot as fuck in here. That's how light-skinned people get when it's hot.
Red.
Or when it's, that's the alcoholic face too, and I don't even drink. Jesus Christ.
What's your office hours, man?
9 to 5.
What's happening, good people, man? Welcome to this edition of Herb and Tou. My name is Herb Howard. I have the pleasure of sitting alongside the great Toussaint Warner. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Please make sure you like, subscribe, share with at least one person that you think will find some value in this conversation, or hopefully even add some value to this conversation. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. We have conversations about black issues, and we try to talk through those issues to find optimum solutions for how we can overcome said issues. Again, this is Herb and Tou, intellectual thuggery. If you don't know, my name is Herb. His name is Tou. Tou, before I ask you what's happening, good brother, I don't think we'd be remiss if we went any further without sending our sincerest condolences and thoughts to a great friend of ours, a mentor of ours, King Saleem, who I killed. His wife passed away past few days, and he's King Saleem, man. We love him. So I know we talked to you already in person, but you know, thoughts and prayers to King Saleem, and what is a trying time for anybody.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And in that same vein, Mama Carol Adams lost her daughter.
Oh wow!
A couple days ago as well. You know, so rest in peace to Nia. And since we're in the rest in peace segment, we should go straight to Assata Shakur too.
Sure.
That happened last week. Great freedom fighter, warrior for our people. Humongous loss. Legendary historic figure in the Black Liberation Army. And I wanted to give our sincere condolences because we started off with condolences, but part of one of the topics I wanted to get into was around Assata and just our lack of understanding. And like, you know, I used to make the analogy, like if you keep pouring cream into the coffee, eventually you don't have coffee anymore, right? And there was a clip circulating on the web of this young girl talking about Assata, and I sent it to y'all. And he was like, man, I ain't got no honor for that. She didn't do that shit for me. She did that shit for herself. And you know, just going down the line, man. And even before you came in here, I was showing a clip of some more notable people talking about
sharing similar sentiments.
Similar sentiments, but not about Assata, but about Dr. King and his value because he was cheating on his wife, right? Is he valuable in his role as a civil rights leader because he's cheating on his wife?
What?
And we just at a point and place in history, and it ain't even just about those sentiments. It's about, again, how the message is pilfered, and what happens when you don't have black media. What happens when you strip schools of black history or black education? When DEI isn't a thing, and I think it's even deeper than that because it also speaks to what's happening in our households. And you can't expect the the parents to teach when they've been robbed of the information as well, right? But for me, it's a glaring example of why we need platforms like this one. We have our moments where we go viral, but it's not a consistent thing.
Right.
And when we ain't on the viral scape, we're at the low, viewership standard. And I know it's, the kind of glossy or ignorant shit that kind of sells, or the celebrity shit that kind of sells.
Right.
But in these moments in time, you see the disconnect, right?
Yeah, that's the word I was going to use.
And when you don't know your history, you bound to repeat it.
Yeah.
Right. And in that vein, man, I just want to give a brief rundown of who Assata was and why that young girl statement was such a bad representation of how we should be aligning to and honoring her in her death.
Please do give that rundown of that history, because along with some of the ignorant takes like the young lady had, which I don't give a fuck. I mean, like you get everybody has a camera, right? You got a cell phone, you got a platform, and it's like these are people who I probably wouldn't give 10 seconds worth of conversation to, but then their video catches on, enough people share it, and then it's like, oh, this is something I should talk about. That woman probably has nothing in life that I should talk about, that I deem worthy of discussing. You know what I mean? So on the one hand, I feel that way. On the other hand, I start to see things like real comments from, just people on the internet. Is that Tupac mama? Is that Tupac mama? Oh man, we disconnected as hell. You know what I mean? Like, and so then I'm like, okay, well, no, we need to have these conversations. So if you will, do tell some background and some history.
Assata Shakur, born Joanne Chesamore, part of the Black Liberation Army, born in New York. She was convicted of shooting a New Jersey state trooper and killing them.
Goof ass nigga.
Right.
The trooper, I mean.
But she was convicted, but it was the evidence wasn't concurrent. It wasn't a sure conviction. But anyway, even beyond that, she was the first woman put into a men's penitentiary. She endured, horrible kind of beatings, and abuse and all kind of shit. Assaults and all kind of shit. And 6 years later, she escaped. I think it was 79. She escaped for asylum to Cuba, and she lived the rest of her life in Cuba.
Shout out to Cuba for, accepting her as a political refugee and giving her that asylum. Shout out to Cuba for that.
But it was very interesting, right? Like listening to that girl speak, and I've known people who've been to Cuba to sit at her feet and met with Assata, and to hear those real accounts of how they engaged Assata versus how this young girl kind of disparaged her. And I'm talking about people who like honored and loved and living the legacy of Assata. Right. And they talk about that experience oftentimes as being a very weird exchange.
Okay.
Right. It was like she's not a very endearing person. She was very cold, very callous. But then you got to have perspective, right? Just up until a year ago, the United States was still trying to extradite her back here to serve trial. You know what I mean? They was on her ass. So you start thinking about and understanding what COINTELPRO was and understanding how the FBI worked. We had Fred Hampton Jr. here the other day.
Sure.
Right? When you start understanding like the depths that the FBI will go to do harm to what is essentially his father.
Right.
And that's a first-hand account of his mother could tell him the life and the things that were happening around that we wouldn't have any understanding of.
He was born as a political adversary.
Period. Right.
From day one. They tried to kill him when he was day -80.
Right.
Days,
so, and we don't have context because we're disconnected.
Right.
So when we hear these stories, we see them from a vantage point of the very blanketed understanding that the media gives us of it. Right. We rarely go into depth of what happened. But to the point of the Assata conversation, I guess, when I would hear these first-hand accounts, it was like, man, she was, off-putting, cold, But put yourself in her shoes.
How warm of a welcome or how warm of a conversation do you think it would be to sit down with Harriet Tubman?
I don't know.
Do you think she would be this, oh, hey, baby, personal? You think she would be cold, almost off-putting, almost, you niggas get on my fucking nerve because I'm ready to kill all these bastards and y'all talking about what shoes you got on.
But I don't even think it's just you niggas. I think it's a deeper conversation in the sense that when you make that kind of move, when you escape and you're on the run and you're living your life like that, up against one of the most powerful armies and systems in the world, who can you trust? Right?
Who can you trust?
Where would you ever find comfort?
Where would she have found warmth to give it to you?
Yeah, right. And you got to think, man. You know, in these
I joke with you about like being the fun police. Nothing's fun. Nothing's funny.
Nothing's funny.
Fun and nothing's funny though. You know what I mean? Like,
everything is very, very serious.
This idea that we finna have this kiki kind of moment is ambitious and ill thought.
Yeah, and they always used other black people to infiltrate those circles.
Yeah, of
right.
course.
Today they wouldn't have to use black people to infiltrate those circles because the majority of black people are already open arms against those concepts. Right. But it just reminded me, like, we have T-shirts and sayings and shit like we are not our ancestors, and I agree, we aren't.
Right, but not because of what you think.
But not because of what you think.
That sure ain't the flex you think it is.
It's not. It's really not, man. But it just, you know, to hear those statements was like, damn, man, that's very alarming, man. And we've become a culture of cowards and the culture of ignorance that's so pervasive. And even the, you know, you hear the other comments like that Tupac's mama. Well, Assata Shakur and Assata did have a relationship,
sure,
and that is Tupac's aunt in the spiritual sense, probably more than anything. I don't know if there's any blood relation.
They serve the same cause as women.
To Assata, you know what I mean? Shit, even Tupac. If people really knew the understanding of Tupac, right? Tupac was a creative player.
Exactly.
In a lot of ways, people don't give that its just due, right? That same entity, that Black Liberation Army, the reason why we celebrate Black August, a lot of people don't, but it's becoming a more popularized thing. Right. Black August developed out of the Black prison system of the Panthers and the Black Liberation Army, right? Tupac had a certain skill set, and Shaka Senghor got behind Pac and was like, this is going to be your mission in this music entity.
This is how you go.
This is how you go. Which is why he went the way he went. But as he got more and more fame, the allure
he leaned
pulled
into
him in.
Once he was Bishop, he couldn't stop.
But the shit that moved him to that level was the messaging that they were imprinting in him.
I'm glad you mentioned Black August. Shout out to our brother Gardis Wise. Gardis be knowing shit. I don't know if you hit him back. I know I didn't hit him back, but I do know that you hit us, Gardis, and for sure we could do that. But he always educating on. In fact, he was the first person to educate me about Black August and what it was and the history of it and the brothers and the prison system and all that. So. Shout out to Gardis,
but let's just, even in me saying that, just how I just said it, right? Having an understanding of the history. Think about the legend and legacy of Tupac Shakur.
Yeah.
And he's a fucking creative player of these people that you're disparaging. They created that man.
Right.
Like legitimately, it wasn't like this was his. If you know the history of Tupac, he started rapping wearing drawers on stage and dancing around
background dancing,
right? As he moved through that circle, they realized, all right, this is what you want to do. Cool, this is how you're going to do it. And the goal was to galvanize young Black people to create a new Black liberation army through the lens of music, because music is a great communicator. Like we don't put any value in the science of things. We don't put any value in the education of things. I often say the only universal languages are music and math, right?
Sure, no doubt.
And if you break that shit down, music is just math.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you get opportunity like Pac, or somebody in that realm, even Kanye, as much motherfuckers think like he crazy. When he's on Nori and he's talking about the 808s and how it affects your brain and how it affects your movements, that's not false. All that shit is real, right? So even in the biblical sense, if you believe in the spirit and you believe in the God, who was the fucking devil, right? He was the head of music, right? Because it's gonna move your ass the way I want you to move. Or you think about the slave revolts and the rebellions, then use the drums as a messaging and the mechanism to move toward a war.
That's why you get sayings like, you know, march to the beat of your own drum, that kind of thing. Don't be manipulated by the sounds of you know, others in their mission. So that's why you start musical shit with 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you get into a routine, whether it's a dance or a beat or whatever. Like it is math, it is rhythm,
and
it's a feeling.
Because how capitalism works, it's that same mechanism and that same machine that pilfers the messages that it wants you to have. If I want you, would you say all the time? If I want your opinion, I'm gonna give it to you. Right, and then we start formulating opinions based on what
we've been
given.
The
same systems that these people fought against, and making it their reality.
I remember seeing a video, and this was in Africa, and it was a youth choir being led by their choir director, whatever. and this was they in Africa. I don't know a single word of what they're saying. Like I don't know nan fucking word, but I started crying, like a tear like came down my eye. I was like, this is the most powerful shit I've ever heard, and I don't even know what they're saying, but I could feel it. I felt it so much that I had to research what it was and what is this happening right here. And it turned out that this was a youth choir at this school, and the dude who was leading them was some big artist over there, and he had came there to work with them after their village had been massacred. Like came through, killed everybody at the school. These were the kids that were left. And they were singing songs about this. And I didn't know what they were saying, but I could tell it was the heaviest shit I had ever fucking heard in my life. And I was like, damn, that music gives you that
That's
type
why
of...
they had a choir in church. That's the exact reason why they had it, right? The church choir gets to me often, and I don't believe in none of that shit.
Yeah.
So it ain't the words.
The only other time I've experienced a similar thing to what I experienced watching that video was at church. And this was a woman, and she came up there, and she did a solo piece, humming. She said nothing. She didn't even use words. She just hummed. And by about 90 seconds into this humming, here go the teardrop. And I'm like, this is the most powerful shit I've... I was like it was like crazy. Those were the only 2 times where I was like, I don't even know what y'all saying, and it's moving me on a different level. So
yeah, man. But if you don't know your history, man, you're bound to repeat it, man. And again, like you said, even when I sent y'all the clip, y'all like, man, ain't nobody listen to this goofy shit. But I sent it to y'all for that same reason. As you start to really research and look, this ain't an uncommon thought process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was saying. When I started to see like the Tupac shit and his mother, I was like, damn, these motherfuckers.
Yeah, and again, like the video we was watching before you came in, I was showing E when they was disparaging Dr. Martin Luther King because he cheated on his wife. Right, but the same system that's telling you is he's cheating on his wife was the same system that he was fighting against.
Trying to kill him, right?
Right, it's the same system that makes all of them terrorists or enemies of the state. Right, the difference between the terrorists and the revolutionaries is who wins.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Who got the pen last?
Who got the pen last? You know what I mean? That's it.
That's a thing we use in coaching too. Like you drop a play, football play. Oh, I got a play that'll beat your defense. Okay, now give me the pen. And I got a play that'll shut that fucking play down immediately. Okay, well, give me the pen. Like, it's like whoever got the pen last wins. They get to tell the story. They get to write the history.
But if you don't know what side of that fight you're supposed to be on, you start to align yourself with the thoughts of the person with the pen, right? If you're on defense, you should want defense to win. If you're on offense, you should want offense to win. But if I'm a defensive player and offense is with the pen last, I can't just acquiesce the offense is better.
No, I can't.
That's some idiotic shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now you gotta remember who you are. You gotta in the face of opposition or in the face of unpopular opinion or in the face of fear or threats or whatever, it's important now as it ever was to tell the truth, to speak truth to power, to speak truth in open forums. And I think going back to what you're saying about this conversation that we have on this show and why it's important, we speak truth to power. Neither one of us has ever been afraid to express our sincere feelings about something, right? And we are not only passionate, but educated, right? And there's a level of fearlessness that comes along with that. And shit, you and I met being members of this 10,000 Fearless. And I think that matters. Even if we don't always agree on whatever that we're talking about, we're fearless in our willingness to say what we believe in, and we can stand on it, and we can back it up with this reason or that reason. And people need to be willing to do that in a time where even you see the biggest shows in the world like Jimmy Kimmel, like, boy, you can't say that shit. You're suspended. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, fuck you.
And we got to dig deep. I'm glad you brought the Jimmy Kimmel thing up because even though we did touch on it a little bit.
He brought it up before the show.
Yeah, even though we touched on it before a little bit, there's another underlying conversation that most people aren't touching on that goes back to like the value and the power of capital. So if you think about all these affiliate television stations, right, their hubs are usually in the major markets, LA, Chicago, New York, right? You do the sports shit, you know what that shit is. But you also got to think about those other markets that are, you know, the Iowas of the world,
the Fox affiliates,
the Fox affiliates of the world, the Utahs, those are the larger market share, but they don't have the dominance of the local or largest targeted cities.
Sure.
right? So over the last few years, there are these. I hate saying Republican and Democrat because I don't think they're any different, right? But there are like segments of both of those parties that represent the extremities of them.
Sure.
Right? And one of the extremities of the Republican Party, one of those think tanks or economic power groups, have went on and bought up all of these affiliate stations in these small markets.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened with the Jimmy Kimmel shit, although it was a Trump move too, it was a way for them to save some capital on his next contract. And we know late night TV is kind of going away, right? So it was a power play in capital for them to get rid of him and to bring him back. But he's also lost 40% of his market share because they will not run that in those affiliate markets or those Republican-owned stations now. So he's like down 50 to 60% of his market share already. So instead of running Jimmy Kimmel on whatever time it comes on, it's a replay of late night news or replay of whatever the fuck it might just be Trump speeches. Who gives a shit? They own the station. But that also speaks to the point of Assata, the messaging behind it. It speaks to the point of Trump and the messaging behind it, right? Because, or the messaging of Dr. King and the messaging behind it, right? Because if that's where you're getting all your information, this shows you right here who controls what you're going to hear.
I want your opinion.
When I want your opinion, I'm going to give it to you.
I think communication is one of the biggest components of warfare. Always is, always has been. Any type of war, any type of battle, one of the very first things one side wants to do to the other is restrict their ability to communicate. Take out the communication tower, take out the antennas, take out the radio. Like, don't let these motherfuckers talk. And then we okay.
You talked about us meeting doing the 10,000 feelers, right? As you said that, I thought about this, then I thought about how communication works. I grew up in an era where Minister Farrakhan was on television.
Right.
Think about the last time that happened, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Think about the validity he has in the black community and when the last time you saw him on television.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they banned him off social media for old shit he said on old television.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how powerful those mechanisms are. You know what I mean? It's just interesting. So you got to ask yourself, if they letting you get on television, if they not banning you,
must not be saying shit threatening.
You must not be shit.
It must not be powerful. It must not, you know what I mean?
You must not be a threat.
No, that's real. And whether they buy you or own you in some other kind of way, you're not a threat. You're not a threat. And they find ways to remind you of that often. ICE continues their push here in Chicago.
See,
senor.
Yeah.
Except they was in South Shore. 75th
they
and
was
South
on,
Shore
They
Drive.
was on Wagger Drive too, and they was in the hood. They was on 75th.
75th.
The Wagger Drive shit was funny to me though.
Okay.
The little homie on the little
bike?
getaway bike. I said they ain't catching nobody. They can't catch that motherfucker.
That motherfucker was...
But first he hit him with the water paper. With the bike in his hand. I said, oh, these motherfuckers terrible, G.
They like, get him!
They definitely ain't catching nobody on the east side.
Nah.
It's too many gangways. You can't catch this nigga straight out. You done.
on,
You done, cuz. You
Come
done.
on, man. I remember when I remember taking my friend from 67th Street to 75th Street.
Through gangways.
No streets.
No streets.
She was like, where are we?
In the gangway. Shut up.
Right there. You see that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
we used to go all the way. We used to go from the Mount. No, we was from 71st to Route 66. No streets.
All gangways.
As kids.
If you know over east, you can get there. And it's like, wait, how do we get from here to there? Don't worry about it, plug.
That's Chicago in general, G. Everybody travel through through the alleys. It's all kind of little reckless
You
shit.
know the ways. If you're from there,
G.
you know the ways. It's like, how we pop out over here when we was over there?
It's like when Tupac was chasing Steel and Juice and they was cutting through all that shit in New York. That's how Chicago is.
You got to know it. You got to be able to use the alleys, the cut throughs, the gangways, all kind of little.
Yeah, man, they over there though. I saw that they popped up over there early in the morning.
1 something in the morning, they popped up on 75th and South Shore Drive, detaining folks, looking for folks, snatching people up, letting off them sound bombs, and you know what I'm saying?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like causing all kind of mass hysteria and chaos at 1 in the morning. G, what y'all doing? It's a school night.
You know what's crazy though?
Like,
I went to work out. I've been trying to stay on my 5 in the morning shit, right? So, and it's not even that. It's 5 in the morning, the Jeffrey Pub shit, and 71st and Jeffrey at 5 in the morning on every day.
It's cracking?
It's unfucking believable.
Really?
I don't understand it. It's like
It's not open, is it?
I don't know what the fuck it is. It's midday traffic at 5 in the morning on 71st and Jeffrey every day. It's unfuckable. It's Night of the Living Dead. It's YMCA music video. It's all kind of shit happening on that corner every day at 5 in the morning. Nobody goes home on the east side. Or don't have a home. It's one of them. I don't know what the fuck is happening. But why are y'all outside? All motherfucker put, you know, the bums at the light. Can I get $1? It's 5 in the morning, cuz.
What do you need a
You're not
bug
supposed to be
for?
out here yet. I'm supposed to be beating you to the punch.
What you need a bug for?
I'm supposed to be beating you, cuz. Why are you knocking on my window?
You're not beating me, Jack.
You're not beating me.
But it be like that though. Remember when we went to get some we went to get something to eat. It's like 2, 3 in the morning.
That was reckless.
And it was the wildest 30 minutes that ever happened in our life.
Reckless
We got
30 minutes.
solicited for prostitution.
She tried to, yes, she did.
Buddy tried to.
She might have tried to buy some dick from us. It was so weird.
Yeah, it was the weirdest.
It was so
shit.
weird.
It was the weirdest shit ever. Buddy walked up on us trying to get off some ground beef. Y'all fucking ground beef?
He was definitely trying to sell us packs of ground beef at 2 in the morning.
That still might be the wildest question I've ever heard in my life.
Nick, on the 5 in the morning. Nigga
Yeah.
tried to sell me a gyro plate. It's fresh. my nigga, please get away from my car.
Get away from here, G. Get
He
away
said
from
it's
here.
a fresh gyro plate.
Gyro plate.
Man, you
want
don't
it?
get the fuck away from my car.
Knock it the fuck out.
Oh my
dog.
God.
It's wild. So, you know, the shit be open. Buddy asked us for like I'm trying to get $1 to go in the store. Bro, it's 3 in the morning. Do you see them fucking stores? They're not open. Who you talking to, bro?
That
Get
shit
on
was-
somewhere, man. But
That shit is a TV show waiting to happen, man.
yeah,
That's
but you
some
have
wild
that,
shit.
and then you have the early morning workout people that's about to go hop on the lake or get down to the Y, whatever. Then you got people that just get up and getting ready for work type shit. So there's a smorgasbord, a melting pot that happens right there on that
Man,
corner,
that shit be cracking.
and everything comes to a head.
Yeah, that shit don't sleep over there, G. I be like, what the fuck?
It's different. It's different. Shout out to the east side.
Definitely.
Yeah, I got 2 calls about the ice, and he was like, "Yo, you know about these ice raids?" And I was just coming back from Vegas. Like, I got back this morning, so I was like, I don't know nothing about it yet. You know what I mean? But I got 2 calls
it is a
about
scary sight, though. It's some wild shit, man, and we need to be paying attention because it is what a police state looks like.
Yeah.
And we have the assumption that they only chasing out the immigrants or da-da-da. What does that mean when we had the other conversation a couple weeks ago? Based on what? Right? You made a joke about me 5 minutes ago. You red ass nigga, right? I've been getting called Spanish all my goddamn life.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, to the immigrant conversation, the DoorDash people came to drop some food off the motherfucker today and had a whole conversation with me in Spanish like I was gonna respond. I don't know what the fuck you saying, cuz.
I told you I need to tap into your Colombian
You know what I'm
side.
saying?
I just told y'all that the Walmart, I had a delivery from Walmart at Lily Pads, and I guess they contract like through third parties for deliveries, and the dude texted me in Spanish,
Damn.
and I was pissed. I was like literally pissed.
Come on, say DC, text back.
I text back, I said, no hables español, and then I text him in Spanish that I don't speak Spanish, text me in English, use the translation app.
Right.
Because you can't call me because you can't speak English. You leaving my package outside, and
Right.
you texting me.
This is America.
You texted me in Spanish.
Yeah.
Why I gotta go to the translation app? So
Yeah,
he
man, but
texted back in English.
in truth,
I
man,
agree.
this is what it looks like at the beginning of a fascist government, at the beginning of ethnic cleansing, at the beginning of, you know, some internal warfare. Like, this is what the fuck it looks like, and everybody's going along like ain't nothing happening.
No, I've said this from the beginning of the Trump conversation that's present. I'm talking about 2015. It has to get to a place of extreme discomfort for people to realize, wait a minute, this, like, you know what I'm saying? Right now, people are still in that phase of trying to find my peace and comfort within it. Soon, there isn't going to be any space for your peace and comfort, and it's going to force you to engage in some other kind of way. I'm not saying that's, you know, physical. I don't know what that is for each individual, but as a collective, there's going to be a necessity for a movement in a different way. As soon as it becomes discomfort.
Do you think that just the essence of human survival will eventually overcome any of those kind of problems or ailments or government restrictions. Like if you think about the slave trade, or you think about the Holocaust, and over time, shit just. I ain't saying it's great or whatever, but you just move beyond whatever that stage was, right? But in my mind, there's a level of resiliency that went with all those people that I don't know if we have.
We haven't needed it. I think every human has it. I think it's the survival instinct. It's why you can throw a baby in a pool and it'll swim. Like it's why they have shows like Survivor, because people want to find out how far can I be pushed. Like that's a game, and I don't know if they can yell cut and leave and whatever the fuck, but in real life, I think you just don't know how far you can go until you push there. You have no clue.
I get that, but I also think you got to understand your enemy, right? Even if we just talking about nature, right? The survival shows, right? You can't gauge what an animal can do most times, but you can kill an animal, right? You know that this weapon will stop this, or I got a fighting chance if I got this, or I can eat these plants. This is gonna grow at this. We got certain levels of information.
This can't climb a tree.
This can't climb a tree.
This can't swim. Like,
this can't swim, right? But we embarking on some shit that has total autonomy over the entirety of our lives. When we start thinking about the digital coins, digital currency, digital warfare, right? I sent y'all a video earlier where it was like, it was a movie or a commercial or some shit where an Asian lady was like waking up out of bed and starting her day and shit, and she was getting these messages from, which essentially would be the all-seeing eye, saying, "Hey man, you go owe this much in tickets. You can't access your card today, till you pay these tickets, right? You only have this much sick time at your job today." It was obvious that she was sick, so you got to go and see. You can't come back to work if you don't have a doctor's note. She ended up getting in the car at one point. Oh, you drove your car anyway? We're deducting XYZ dollars from your vehicle for driving against whatever. Then she parked at the doctor's office. She goes to see the doctor. The doctor's giving her diagnosis. They're like, "We revoked your doctor's license because we just got reference that you didn't pay your taxes from last year." The doctor prescribes her with some shit. You got to go get da-da-da. She goes to the health store. She gets trying to get da-da-da. But because of the traffic infraction earlier where they took the money directly out of account, she can't afford the medicine. It was just a very interesting concept about how entrapped we are by this digital space.
And like all of these movies tend to play out. You go back to movies like Total Recall. And I think that came out in like the 80s. And then you start to see all of those types of things play out. Or you go fast forward to a movie like Enemy of the State with Will Smith and Gene Hackman, and at the time it's like, this shit wild as hell. No, this shit is not wild as hell.
It's very normal.
They can track you like this, like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody knows that and accepts that. So that when they put out those types of films, there was one show where they had like your life currency was like in your wrist, like it was like numbers, but it was like time.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't know. I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called either, but it was like time. And like that's how much time you had left. Yeah.
I watched Black Mirror. It was an episode on Black Mirror where they had I think they had like you had to meet up for a date. Like that's how the dating went. Like it was you had to live with somebody for a certain amount of time, and if either one of y'all don't like it or whatever, after you have to resubscribe after so long. But then you only get one chance with that person though. Like it'll be a lifetime for you ever get that opportunity with that one person again. Like it was just crazy.
In Black Mirror, they also had the episode, which I think is probably going to come to fruition, where you were rated as a person, just like on an app. So let's say if you got in an Uber or something like that, or let's say if you whatever you did, you didn't say hi to your neighbor, and so your neighbor rated you, so then your numbers are going lower. Or you didn't pay your bill, your numbers are going lower. So now you can't even, that's like you got a 2 rating. So now the level of Uber car, for instance, or rideshare service that you
like credit. It's like credit.
It's like your credit. And
you're an ain't shit person.
Yep. So it's like things. So you're trying to overcompensate, so that you're not rated low. Right. And I feel like in a way, I mean, all those movies to some extent and shows end up being a reflection of like what's actually happening. So
I think all that shit is coming. I think a lot of that shit is upon us. You know what I'm saying? When in terms of, being valued like that, and we do it to ourselves. We start to accept it even on like the social media level, and it's like, well, how many followers do you got? You know what I mean? Or how many of my friends follow you? Like, and then I apply this social value or social ranking upon you to determine whether or not you are worthy of my engagement. And like, we already do the shit.
Yeah, and they seduce you into normalizing weird shit. Right? We from an era of don't get in the car with strangers, and the day we put our kids in the car with strangers.
Nigga, I got in the car.
In an era where we talking about sex trafficking and child trafficking and all that shit. Go get in the car with a stranger, we feel so comfortable. It's the wildest shit in the world.
I got in the car. I got in the Uber today with a dude. If I knew him, I would never be like, hey, you drive me somewhere, bro.
Oh. And you was worried, nigga, the way you drive?
I'm the best driver in the world.
Okay, next. What'd you say, E?
I drive fast, but it's a very controlled speed. I don't do crazy things. I'm the best driver in the world. I've never been behind the steering wheel of an accident.
Bless all those other motherfuckers on the street.
No, I know what I'm doing.
Hey, what's your question?
Anyway, Buddy was about 600 pounds. He pulled up at the airport. Me and Gene pull up at the airport in a minivan. He hop out. He's 600 though.
Breathing hard.
He's man, Sal.
Seat leaning like this.
He on the seat, got his arm like this. Gene.
Wait, do that again. That's how all of them drive. You right.
So he like that. Gene like, man, it needs some air fresheners in here or something, man. It's
musty
stale.
here,
It's like, you know what I mean? So he got on skinny distressed jeans.
He been in that bitch
Smell like
all
French
summer.
guy
He
with
been in that
playing
bitch
squares.
all summer sweating.
Yeah, Gene, all something sweat. It's like, I don't want to be in here anymore.
Free me.
I don't want to be. It had been such a long day, G. I swear to God, I've been up for 2 days, G. Since it's, what is it, fucking Tuesday evening right now? Yeah, since like late Sunday, early Monday, I've been woke and I'm ready to go to sleep. So by the time we finally got to the crib and Buddy pulled up, I was at the end of my shit. I'm like, I was this long ass travel day. I'm sick of this shit, Joe. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I agree with you on how we do shit that is against our normal customs or ideas of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to a point that he was talking about before.
She got a call.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was finna move on to something else. So if you wanted to, okay. Just the idea of the media thing. I know we were talking about it a little bit earlier, but the idea of like being controlled in terms of what you can't say, how you can and can't do. And I was just reminded of it when I was talking about Vegas and coming back from covering the Bears game and shit. Because right now, the Bears head coach, Ben John, he don't fuck with me. And I don't care, number one. And I was about to say I don't know why, but I do. He called me crazy in the middle of a press conference one day, like a couple weeks ago, before they went to go get their ass demolished in Detroit. And I was like, yo, coach, you know, my question was like, is there a sense of urgency because y'all could go down 0-2 in the division at the very beginning of the season? He was like, man, you crazy, we finna go in. I said, oh, okay. So fast forward 48 hours, they get smoked 50-20. And so I was like, damn, I was crazy, huh, coach? Just on the Herb Howard show. Not at the press conference.
He saw the Herb Howard show?
I assume he saw some part of it, or it was some
Salute
part
to
of
the Herb
it.
Howard show too, man. I've been getting calls, man. People like, man, Herb doing this thing on the Herb Howard show.
No, that's
I
what's
guess
up.
I watch that shit. I share it all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm so anti-football,
Yeah.
I be like, man, I watch that shit.
It ain't your thing. I wouldn't expect you to be in there, but if football is your thing, make sure you follow the Herb Howard show. It is on the Biggs Media YouTube. We do it live every Tuesday and Friday morning at 9:30 Central Time. But the very next show, like they got smoked on Sunday. The Tuesday show, I was petty as hell. I had clipped up all these different questions I had asked throughout the summer about why they might be vulnerable to this and vulnerable to that. And they was like, oh no, we straight. And then I clipped those up with all the times that they got smoked on this and that and this and that. And I was joking about, you know, coach calling me crazy and all this shit. And ever since then, his response to everything I said is like, yes, no, maybe. Like, oh, okay, you still tight. No problem. You know what I mean? Like I'm only gonna ask you real football questions. They like I'm on some personal shit. What you got personal with me? You said I was crazy, and then y'all went out there and got smoked. I wouldn't have been no problem. You said I was crazy. Man, you crazy? We finna go beat their ass. Okay, cool. But then y'all got smoked. So I'm not crazy. But anyhow, I'm just saying, even in those situations, we were just talking about sports. The truth to power shit gets real weird when you have the big microphone, right? You got the big microphone. You the head coach of the Bears. And it's like, fuck this dude. Like
Under that truth to power shit and that football shit, they just announced the other day that what's his name, Bad Bunny,
yeah, Bad Bunny.
be the main act at the Super Bowl. And you know what, man? On some real shit, I'm gonna say salute to Jay.
The whites are angry too.
Because that is an act of revolution, right? If you understand it, like Bad Bunny, because of the way Donald Trump is leveraging ICE and immigration, he's refused to do any U.S. shows, right? Yeah. Like, which I fuck with, which black people should learn from too.
Except in Puerto Rico. And I say that to make the point that the whites are being very upset. He's not even fucking American. Okay, he is. He's Puerto Rican, which is a part of the United States of America, if your racist ass knew anything, but you don't. So he took all his money and said, no, I'm just going to build it up over here. Remember, they still got hit by that crazy ass hurricane a couple years back. Trump, I guess it had to be
the one where he was throwing the paper towels at.
Yeah, he throwing paper towels, that type, right, that type of goofy shit. So, you know, shout out to Bad Bunny for looking out for his people and not.
But for him to say I'm not gonna do any U.S. shows and then be selected to do the Super Bowl, it's some revolutionary shit going on there, right? And I guess everybody has a role to play. You know, I hate on Jay a lot on purpose.
That's a revolutionary act, though.
That is. But you know, he was also in pictures with Ivanka Trump last week, so you know,
dinner and shit.
You just balance the shit out. You
play right.
You know what I'm saying? And I guess at some levels you got to play the game in that way, right? At the highest levels, like if you think about Malcolm and King and Harry Belafonte's role in their lives and shit like that, right? Like Harry Belafonte wasn't the most radical, you know, but in essence he sent all the King kids to college. Yeah. So what's the value? You know what I mean? But
but that was gonna be my question when we was talking about the media and the censorship and all of that shit. Like, how do y'all expect to deal with that once we get there? Because we going. How do you expect to handle it? Not to change the conversation, but I feel like they go together. But
they do.
How do you balance that? Because
I can't wait for it. To be honest with you, G, I think first of all that's a great fucking question, but it's something I've thought about several times as we've gone on this journey of building this show and the things that we say and the topics that we broach. Like, I understand that if 1 million people start regularly watching the Herb and Tou podcast, it's gonna become a threat. It's gonna become, hey, shut them two motherfuckers up. And it's like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. What you gonna do?
I got a different opinion though, right? Even if we just look at the room, we got Aries and Leos in there. That's it. Right? Fleeting fire signs. Yeah. Right? Our whole identity ain't to be doing shit long. Our whole identity is to do it fast and burn hard and heavy. So I think we'll get there eventually.
Burn it down and you can have it back, Daddy.
Yeah, burn it down and you can have it back, Daddy. Because is the goal to be, you know, telecasters or I don't know.
It's just create the energy create the energy and motivate people.
And I think again it depends on how you look at it and what you value. You know what I mean? Once you're there, you there. You know what I'm saying? They can't snatch you from being there. You're already there, right? So I'll give you a great example of what I mean and I know it sounds like I'm talking in circles, but pre-Donald Trump attacking Chicago with the ICE and the National Guard, Brandon Johnson had the lowest approval rating in the history of politics. Not in Chicago, in the history of political ratings. His political rating happened. He had the lowest rating in the history of politics, right? But by you centering your attention on him, you gave him platform to become who he already was. Right? And now every clip you see on that man, I get more and more inspired by him. Right? But you needed an atmosphere to become that. Right? So it's
pushed into action.
Pushed into iconic legendary status also too, right? Like
Pushed into your proper polarity.
even Tupac and Biggie. We just started the show with Tupac conversation around Assata Shakur. If Pac doesn't get murdered, is Tupac the legend that he is today? And I'm not saying the murder, but the environment oftentimes shapes all the shit around it. I saw Fred Hampton talking to a young boy one day, and he was kind of talking about, why I don't see the Panthers around here today.
Right.
And Fred went the fuck off on the boy. And he talked to him in the way he said, you don't have no understanding what the fuck you talking about. Right? We here, and you also don't have understanding of the commitment it takes to be this kind of person.
Right.
You also don't understand the environment that shapes these kind of people.
Right.
It's a conversation we just had about human resilience.
Yeah.
What happens, right? And until you put yourself in those positions, you don't know, but those positions leave lasting marks. Right? And I think the very essence of our identities oftentimes is not about staying power, it's about leaving a lasting legacy. Right? I think the guys who stay is Jay-Z, not being funny. It's Charlamagne, it's Joe Budden.
Finding a way to straddle the fence.
Right? They walk the line, but do you have value? Right? There's a poet named Sal, I can't think his name. Saul, dark-skinned dude, I can't think his name, but he's a notable poet. And he was on the Breakfast Club, and this was maybe 10, 15 years ago, and they was honoring Jay-Z, and and they was talking to Saul, because he was like, man, I'm anti-capitalist, and that's bullshit to me. And they was like, man, you wrong, man, he's empowered this many black people, he got this many jobs. He said, man, Martin Luther King died broke. Malcolm X died broke. Who they gonna remember longer, them or Jay-Z? Who? And in essence, what the conversation really is who had the greater impact on the world.
Right.
And it's a matter of perspective. I
think, what side of history do you want to be remembered on, man? I was seeing some of the clips of the ICE shit here in Chicago, and I'm seeing these black men in their ICE uniforms. It's like, I just want to talk to you, bro. Like, I just want to ask you, like, this what the fuck you want to do? Like, this is what you, when this script is written, this is the side of it you want to be on. So and it's like,
but I struggle though, right? Because those black men in them ICE uniforms are Jay-Z, in my opinion.
Okay.
Right? That's $100,000 plus job.
Sure.
Right? And we know what $100,000 looks like in America, let alone in the black community.
Sure. It's a clip from Charles Peanut Tillman, former Chicago Bear, great cornerback. And after he was done, he became
Went to work for the FBI. I saw it on the pivot.
And he was talking about how he left after 8 or 9 years. Although he loved the job, he thought they did great work. He loved the people he worked with. He said, but once this particular climate came in, he found that they were doing a lot of shit that was counter to his own value set and belief system. And he was like, so I left. But he acknowledged,
I'm also a multi-millionaire.
I'm able to do that. I came in here straight on the money side. This ain't about the money to me. But for everybody else, if you a federal agent and you $150, $200, $250, I don't know what the fuck it is, that's not the option. I can just leave money. You got wife, kids, house, schools, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I get that 100%. But it's just like, man, bro, I saw these young black brothers on this, like,
I
this
get it.
Fuck y'all want to do, man?
I get it. I do not align with it, nor do I respect it.
Yeah, no, I understood what you were saying. I didn't take you the other way. Yeah. It's just fucked up, man. It's fucked up. But I will say this though, P, and to address my own kind of relationship with it and through it, I very much mostly separate Herb and Tou podcast from Herb Howard Sports Reporter. My Twitter following is relatively large, right? But I also know that they're relatively 50-year-old white male football fans. And although the Herb and Tou show is in my Twitter bio, when people are like, yo, what's your podcast about? I'm like, it's a black liberation conversation and you should watch it at your own risk. I'm like, we're not talking about tackles and touchdowns on here. You know what I mean? Like, this is a different conversation, and you might not fuck with me at all after watching the Herb and Tou podcast versus how Herb covers football. And I struggle with that internally. Like, am I being a bitch about that? You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm like, yeah, you're being a bitch about that, because I pride myself on being a lot of things. right? I always have. I've always prided myself on, you know, being a spiritual man. I've also prided myself on having grown up in the hood. I've also prided myself on like being a leader of people. I've also prided myself on like being open and clear about like shit I like to do in strip clubs and this, that, and the third. Like I'm a whole lot of shit. Don't box me into this. You might catch me at the club on Saturday night. You can catch me at church on Sunday morning. You can catch me at the community meeting by the afternoon. Like whatever. But at the same time, I do know that I'm intentional. Like I don't put these shows on my Twitter, even though it's thousands and thousands of people there. I'm like, I don't think they want to hear it. Number one, but number two, it's like, do those worlds meet anywhere? And I think I'm being a bitch about it in a lot of ways. So I do think there's some validity to like your question, but as this entity in and of itself, I can't wait till the day it reaches the radar of somebody who gives a fuck and has the power enough to be like, shut that shit up.
In truth, it already does though, right? Like we gotta stop minimizing ourselves, right? The mayor of Chicago been on our show,
Not facts.
right? We might be needing to aim downward instead of upward, right? I think because of the calls we get too, I know who's watching this show, right? It might not be a lot of people, but I know
Powerful people.
It's powerful people. Because the powerful people are interested in these kind of conversations, because these are the conversations that dictate politics. These are the conversations that dictate capital. These are the conversations that dictate social movements. The rest of the sheeple are just that, sheeple.
So I think that's what
Right.
that's what I mean when I say when it gets to that point. I agree with you, and I know it to be true that many powerful people watch the show and know about it, right? I've had them come up to me and reference the podcast on first meet. It's like, oh, I didn't know you knew, whatever, right? But I'm saying the viewership has to reach a point where it threatens them. They know, but it's like, all right, they're not making enough noise yet.
And again,
I know.
I think we should be intentional, and I think we should be leveraging language in different ways oftentimes, right? Even how we say black liberation, to me, is just honesty. Just honesty, right? When you say certain shit, people get scared of it, even black people, because we've been conditioned to be scared of radical, revolutionary thought.
Buzzwords.
But black love is revolutionary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why the fuck should we be running from that? And in my mind, this is what this is. This is just my love for my people.
Agreed.
I actually what you're talking about now kind of ties better into the question that I wanted to pose earlier. The reason why I let you all continue on, not like that, but
You're
it's because it kind of went off. This new term, or what I've been hearing more recently as a new term, Black Foundational American. One, do y'all have any thoughts on that? And I feel like this term kind of ties into like this conversation about revolution or what it means to be black. You know what I'm saying? Like, just what are y'all thoughts on that? Like, is that a term that you all been hearing more? Do you think that it's a useful term, or is even useful or necessary to separate a black American from other people in the diaspora?
So the FBA came about. It's Foundational Black Americans.
Right.
And so the FBA became more prominent term right around pandemic. So we're talking like that 19 into 2021 thing. And it was divisive, right?
It's a derivative of ADOS.
Right.
It came up off the ADOS movement, the American Descendants of Slavery movement. FBA is Tariq Nasheed. He created the terminology, right? The terminology isn't necessarily a negative, right? But it's, again, right, and this is interesting to me too, right? Foundational Black Americans, Tariq Nasheed. He also created the what's the Hidden Color series?
Yeah.
The Hidden Colors documentary series. It's probably been the largest selling documentary in the history of black documentaries or something like that. So when you understand Tariq Nasheed,
Right next to Roots.
when you understand Tariq Nasheed, though, he also used to write books like Pimpology and Pimpology 101. So there's an element to him where he knows how to market and sell and manipulate.
True.
Right? But the original term, or the term that FBA was a derivative of, was ADOS, which is American Descendants of Slavery. The reason that terminology has validity is because it was leveraged to fight towards reparations. It gives us a foundational claim for reparations based in legacy,
Right.
and
Who?
in lineage. I mean, right? Who are we? Why are we owed reparations? Right? And to be black is a blanket term, right? There's black all everything. Right, and because of the melting pot that America is, people come here and they assimilate into the culture, right? And they use our culture. They wear our culture like a cape,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
On and on.
Issa Rae, right, comes here and popularizes her show, but then really she's using sentiments that are that of an African American experience, that of an African American woman's experience, right? But the two leads on the show are Africans. You know what I mean? And they've had divisive sayings outside of that show while you wear our culture like a cape. So in a lot of ways, whether you think of this like it or not, they're benefiting or reaping the financial benefits of our culture while essentially not being rooted in it. You mean?
It's important to define who.
Right.
Who was harmed, therefore who is owed.
Yeah, and FBA thing just is a outgrowth of the ADOS concept. Now, people who started ADOS, Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, I think it is. I think they're both brilliant people, but they horrible salespeople, right? And in their brilliance, they get caught up. You know how you too smart for your own good?
Yep.
Like that happens, and people who ain't interested in hearing the intellect behind their shit get disillusioned and go where the party's at. Because it's the easier sale, right? You got dumb shit down all the times to sell it. But even when I started talking about ADOS, the thing that really hooked me wasn't necessarily a fight for reparations. It was the fact that you can definitively divide us into an actual group, right? The ADOS gave us actual identity, right? We are all from Africa, but when we hit these shores, this is what we became, right? And in becoming that, it gives us something to formulate identity around, right? And that's what's happening with Tariq Nasheed and FBA, but with less information than the rest of the groups got. To that point of the FBA, what do you think about that, E? What was it that was intriguing to you about that, or that you thought was interesting?
I guess what's been interesting about it to me, just in the conversations that I've been having with non-Black Americans, or not non-Black Americans, with
Black people from outside of
Black people,
outside the diaspora.
Yeah, from the diaspora. Just the conversations that I've been having, I've been seeing the differences in thought just naturally, so I've been feeling like being able to put a label on it, honestly, has helped me to not to debate, you know what I mean, but to basically understand better why we have the difference in thought. You know what I'm saying? And it's that whole all skin folk ain't kin folk type of situation, but also giving grace to them because they do have a different experience from mine. Like, for instance, people that may have fled to America, you know what I mean? They have a different point of view because they were saved here, right? Than someone like us who we, revere our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Hence the Afro-Latina girl who was talking about, like, Assata Shakur, or, diminishing whatever it is that she did, all the things that she contributed to our cause, but she doesn't have that, she doesn't have that same relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I guess if anything, I've been having a lot of conversations surrounding this, like various conversations with my sister today, with the friend, a few days ago, and things like that, where I've been kind of looking at them, not my sister, but looking at the people kind of like side-eyeing them, but then being able to just see a different point of view. So I was just wondering if, that term was divisive. You know what I'm saying? I guess it can be, but in the same sense, I think it kind of helps us to kind of have like some level of identity. Like you said, being able to identify those who maybe deserve reparations or are owed reparations because they come from the ancestors.
I don't think it's divisive in context to the rest of the diaspora.
Yeah.
In context of how it was birthed out of ADOS, I got some issues with it. But they both mean the same thing.
Right.
We are descendants of this land here.
Right.
We are anchored into this land here. In context of the rest of the diaspora, though, they deem it as xenophobic, right? But I think they deem it as xenophobic because of what you just said, right? They got here and they've been able to leverage what they deem as our version of blackness to their benefit. And it's not the same version of blackness, right? One, if you're outside of the American diaspora, your whole anchoring is in honoring of whiteness.
Yeah.
Because your whole understanding of whiteness comes through multimedia too.
Right.
We live with our oppressor and always have. We're not that disconnected, right? We're 2 generations away from slaves.
We know what happened in the house.
We know what happened in the house. We know what happened in the 90s when a whole generation of men went away and disappeared, right? We've seen it. We're in the face of it, right? Every rapper you know is rapping about that uncle who went to prison based off crack. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody else doesn't have that direct relationship with their oppression, right? So there's an affinity with whiteness and there's a negative attribute attached to blackness because that's also the message that's being sold. And then you got to do real motherfucking math. It's a lot of false comparisons, right? One, fleeing my country, that sounds one way, right? But even if you got here, motherfucker, you was of some means. You was of some means. So you was an elitist over there. You wasn't a poor motherfucker over there, right? So your elitist ass come from elitist shit, get here and start judging the least of me in comparison to your elitist journey. It ain't the same, right? And if you compared apples to apples, the elitists over here to the elitists over there, we whooping your ass. There's really no comparison, right? There's no comparison. But that's not the conversation that happens, and nobody pulls back the layers enough, right? Nobody digs deep enough, right? Again, it's hard to say not the diaspora wars, right? But there is some legitimacy to how much we get leveraged in the totality of the world and then get disregarded. Everybody steals from us and then throws us away and then expects us to honor you. Man, fuck you. And I can stand on that comfortably, right? No, dog, fuck you, right? But they're so accustomed. Think about anybody, the motherfucker that's accustomed to get his ass whooped in the neighborhood. The minute he fight back, everybody like, wait, what you doing?
Right.
Well, you supposed to just get punched, right? But that's not the comfortable space no more.
No, especially not when it comes along with certain trinkets and certain, things that we deem valuable. It's the conversation that I always have every time the Oscars or the Grammys come around and we get up in arms about, oh, we was robbed and this black artist should have won or this black actor should have won. It's like, if y'all weren't so thirsty to seek out their validation, then this shit wouldn't even matter to you. But then the rebuttal is always, well, if I get the Grammy or the Oscar, then the price of the brick goes up for me. It's like, okay, so we selling ourselves now. You know what I mean? Like, it becomes this conversation of value and what is important to you or what's not important to you. And it's like, you seeking a validation, one, and then you telling me you doing it as a sellout only. And it's like, I think the white worship is still in play.
It definitely is. There's no question about it. It's on us in context of our own community. But it's that much more aggressive when you cross them shores.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just is what it is. But again, it's victim blaming when you get over here and then start to leverage our shit for your validation or for your advancement and then shit on us for being the same people that you admire. You know what I mean? It's a very interesting level of sickness. But your sickness does not define my health, right? So I'm not going to align myself with your sickness just to make you comfortable. Fuck you.
There it is. Just leave it there for today. Thank y'all again for tuning in. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share before you go. Leave your comments. We want to see what you have to say about certain topics during the show, certain parts of this episode. So please make sure you do that before you go. But definitely hit that like button. It helps out a ton. We will be back next week with another episode. Shout out to PI for doing all of the hard work behind the camera, sometimes in front of the camera. I like y'all setup over there. It's a good look over there, man. Shout out to E4O merely for being
We
E4O.
gotta get some lights over there, something. We gotta make it artistic or something. That should look like a jail picture.
You know, those two criminals over there. You know what I mean? Till next time, man. For Two, I'm Herb. Y'all be good to each other. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.